shortly. Very shortly. Very, very shortly. Thank you guys for joining me today. We're going to talk about parenting today. So join, please. Say hello. Let me know where you're from. And like and share the live if you can, please. Like and share the live as you guys come in. We're going to talk about parenting today. Um, so thanks for coming in today. Thanks for coming in today, y'all. We are going to talk about parenting. It is such a beautiful day today, but it's hot as all get out outside. Do you hear me? Um, it's hot as all get out. So I'm gonna keep it real cute today because I have had a long day today of seeing clients and such. So I'm trying to be thoughtful about not running myself ragged, but I definitely wanted to go live with you guys today. And again, we're going to talk about parenting. So as you guys come in, please like and share the live. We're going to get started. Let me know where you're from in the comments. Let me know where you're from in the comments. But we are going to get started very, very shortly. All right. Okay, y'all, we are going to get started. So for those of you who are new to my page specifically, I am Sade. I am a therapist. I have been for a while. I have, of course, a page here on TikTok where I specifically talk about a lot of mental health and wellness related things. So that's everything from parenting to confidence to relationships, one of my license is as a marriage and family therapist, which I love. I love working with couples and families. And I also love working with individuals on self exploration and identity and all of that cool stuff. I specialize in working with, of course, Black folks, but I specialize in working with LGBTQ folks, neurodiverse folks, individuals with depression and anxiety, especially when they interchange with neurodiversity. So, and of course, I work with a lot of trauma. I think trauma is a given at this particular juncture, but I work with a lot of trauma. So, as you guys come in, please put in the comments where you guys are from. Thank you for joining us. Please like and share the live. I really appreciate it. I'm going to try to make sure I come live at least once a week. So this is my third week. I feel like I'm killing it. A third week in a row. Consistency is key. But thank you guys for joining live. So today we're going to talk about parenting, really gentle parenting adjacent. So one of the things that I talk a lot about is parenting. And before I had my practice, which I have a practice called the Mahogany Project. Again, I am a therapist who actively sees clients, but I also own a business. I've also published 10 books. Let's say I'm an entrepreneur of several businesses. So I'm really excited and passionate about the work I do in the mental health and wellness field. Everything from presenting to conferences to doing professional development and training. I really, really enjoy it. So parenting is one of the topics that I talk about a lot. In fact, I wrote a book on parenting. Healthy parenting, 18 tips to figuring this shit out. Because again, of how much I talk about parenting, and for a bit more context, I am the mom of 3. So it is, of course, a beautiful mix between my education and experience as a therapist and my education and experience as a mom. And it's not about perfection, especially when it comes to parenting. So today we're going to talk about parenting, and again, gentle parenting adjacent, because I know gentle parenting is, that whole term is used a lot. But I don't know if it's used properly, and I don't know how people are adjusting to make sure their parenting aligns with how they want to show up and how they want to parent their kids. Um, because that can be a little bit tricky, especially when you're talking about parenting, because we're well aware of how we were parented, but sometimes we're not quite aware of how we are parenting our kids, especially if it then looks like how we were parented in ways that we didn't want to be parented and ways that we said we wouldn't parent. And quite frankly, people get caught in that trap a lot of and end up being the very parent or very version of their a parent that they didn't want to be, simply based on survival and stress and all the things that we deal with in being an adult person trying to navigate life day to day. So it can be just difficult in general. But as you guys join, please like and share the live. We're talking about parenting, specifically gentle parenting adjacent, because gentle parenting is not necessarily my thing. I'd like to say gentle parenting adjacent because what I do is certainly adjacent. Is certainly adjacent because I do believe. So let's just go right, just go right in, jump right in. Parenting requires boundaries. Parenting requires limits. Parenting requires direction. Parenting requires us to use our voice, advocate, and also give direction and educate. Parenting is a 365-day job. It does not stop because your child is older. It does not stop because they are not in your house. It does not stop because they're sick or they don't want you to. It doesn't stop. Parenting is constant because even though they grow up and they are out of the house, that doesn't mean you don't worry about them. That doesn't mean you're not concerned about them. That doesn't mean you're not still invested in building a relationship with them and wherever they are in their life in particular at that time. Um, and so parenting is a very wide range of experiences and emotions. And so today we're going to talk a lot about what parenting can look like. And I am not here to tell you what to do, when to do, how to do it, or guide your decisions. I am here to give information, and you take what you will and leave what you will. Leave what you will, take what you will. So, parenting. I want to start off with a little bit of a story. Again, I have 3 kids. My eldest is 20, my youngest is 2. Don't ask me why, it's very ghetto over here. Okay, my eldest is 20, my youngest is 2. So, the experience is doing what it's supposed to do. My eldest is not my biological child, but I've been with him since he was 6. So that's my child, and I refer to him as such. So I'll use an example with him. And boys and girls they are different. Their personalities, all the things. So with my eldest, when he was younger, especially because I believe at that time I was new in his life, he was still trying to cipher through who are you, where do you fit, that kind of thing. But we got along really well and we spent a lot of time together. So my intention in the beginning was, hey, you don't have to call me mom. I am just, Miss Sade. I am here to love and care about you and parent with your dad. I'm a part of the parenting team, but you have a mom. That was really important to me to express because I didn't want him to feel like he had to choose. And I didn't want him to think that I was in competition in any way. I was just there to be an addition to. With that, then, building relationships with kids are really important. I think sometimes with parenting, we forget that these are people. These are people. And just because you're their parent doesn't mean that automatically comes with a relationship built in. Ideally, to some degree, yes, but it does not automatically come with respect. It doesn't automatically come with care and consideration. You don't automatically know who they are, what they like, what their wants and needs are. You don't automatically know those things. It requires you to build an intentional relationship with your kids. So if there's anything that you can walk away with from today, I would say is to be intentional about building a relationship. Um, Oftentimes when I work with kids, one of the things I hear a lot, and even not just kids, but adults that, of course, were once kids, is that the relationship, they wished they had a better relationship. They wished they spent more quality time together. They wished their parent was more invested in what they wanted and things that they were important to them. They wish that they felt like a priority. So this is not just because you're a parent and you may be doing your very best and you may be surviving and you may be single, a parent, and all the things. You have to know that quality time and intentional quality time is a necessary function of having a healthy relationship with your kids. And that does not have a time frame on it. Just being intentional about it is really important. So I'll give you an example. One of the things that I instituted before was I found that during the week, because everybody had homework and school and after school activities and all of this, our free time was spent separately because everybody was tired or everybody wanted to do their own thing. So what I did do was say, okay, on Wednesdays, there's no phones, no tablets, no TV. We are going to have a dance party and we're going to play together for at least an hour. That was our quality time. Now, that was outside of things we would do on the weekend and all of that. But because we were so caught up during the week, there was so much time that went by that we wouldn't spend time together. Everybody was just running. So having to slow down and be intentional about scheduling quality time with your kids is really, really important. They want it, they need it, they desire it. It also highlights how much of a priority they are to you. And one would say, well, I pay the bills and I put food in their mouth and I put clothes on their back. Yeah, but you also have to think that as a parent, our perception is different from theirs. Kids are very self-involved and they don't necessarily see that as you being intentional about caring about them. That can be interpreted as you doing what you are responsible for. So also be clear that like that also doesn't get them closer to you, like getting to know what their favorite color is or what they like to eat or anything like that. Like it is not necessarily a relationship building experience. So when we're talking about quality time, it doesn't have to be a long time. It just needs to be intentional time, uninterrupted time. I have parents that will complain about phones, but then will come home and sit on their phones all night. You don't want the kid to be on the phone. You don't want the kid to be on the phone when they're talking to you, but you could be on the phone talking to them. Like you're not interested at all. Like you got something bigger and better to do. Like your attention is elsewhere. So be mindful of the rules that you set around the phone and how you are modeling that for them. Are you coming home and being intentional about putting your phone away, asking about their day, not being interrupted? Since you do have your phone, just to again, little things. It's not. We are all busy. We are all tired. We are all burnt at each end. So it is about making the most of what little time you do have. Something as simple as when you see them at the end of their day. Hey, how was your day? What went well today? What did you like about today? What didn't go so well today? Just being intentional about asking, inquiring, being considerate, being interested. That's a big, big word. I want to highlight that word. Interested. And again, as y'all come in, please like and share the live. Please like and share the live. So being interested, I find that a lot of parents will very much give uninterested. I am uninterested in your thoughts and your feelings. I'm uninterested in your interests. I'll take you to ballet or football because you said you liked it, but I spend most of my time with my attention somewhere else. I don't know what message you're trying to send with that, but okay, you're sending a message. Be clear about what you want that message to be. And today, as you guys are coming in, we're talking about gentle parenting adjacent. And I'm just talking about some quick tips for quality time, intentional quality time, and being in mindfulness. The other is when we talk about gentle parenting, I think this concept seems to go way too damn far. Okay. Being gentle doesn't mean being a pushover. Being gentle doesn't mean you let them do whatever they want to do. Being gentle means that you slow down, that you're not quick to anger, that you are not projecting your feelings on your children. Gentle is also about boundaries. Gentle is also about limits. Gentle is also about being thoughtful and considerate. What do I mean by that? Again, I'll give you an example. I have three. Again, for those of you popping in and popping out, I have three kids. Oldest is 20, youngest is 2, my middle is 8. When kids, their personalities are different, they need different things depending on the child, depending on their disposition and personality. So, with my 8-year-old, I like to give explanations and I like to talk about feelings. So, there can be something, maybe I give them a boundary or a rule that they disagree with, that they're upset about. She has flat out told me she doesn't like to be corrected. That's fine. I get it. Feel your feelings on that. However, that's my job. That's me and your father's job. So, you cannot like it, and I respect you sharing that with me, and I appreciate that. And I also want you to know I'm going to keep doing it. And I also want you to know that's going to put you in a position to be very difficult to work with if you don't ever want to be corrected. And so just having some of those hard conversations is necessary. Your feelings are not wrong. You have a right to those feelings. And I want to talk about those. And I also am going to be firm on what my limit is. One of the things that's really important to me is structure. I'm a very structured, try to be, especially my routine, is a very structured individual. So, like for my daughter, I typed up her routine with affirmations and all the things, and I put it on the back of her door in her room so she can see it. Your excuse of, I don't know what I was supposed to do, I don't remember, yada, 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 coming in there to ask me every 5 seconds is a no for me. You need to be thoughtful. You are, no, she's 9, you're 9 years old. Look on the back of your door. I've typed it all up for you. Please be thoughtful and intentional about looking in the back of your door and going through your checklist before you leave in the morning and when you come home. It's also modeling and teaching responsibility versus, you keeping yourself as the one that they default to, because that can become exhausting. And then when you get irritated, you're taking that out on them when, quite frankly, you haven't given them the tools to be proactive on in relying on themselves and teaching them how to rely on themselves and use the tools or resources that they have in their possession. So that's one of the things that we talk a lot about is routine. If it's something you're responsible for that you do not do, depending on what it is, you will get a consequence. Um, and trust me, there has been times where I've given consequences and I had to go cry in my room because I'm like, dang, it hurt me. You're crying and upset. I don't want to do this. This is what kids don't understand a lot of times. Parents, is as much as uncomfortable as it is for you, it's uncomfortable for me. I don't want to do all this. I would rather us chill, keep going, have a great day, yada, 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 make it easy. But when one of you are on punishment or something's taken away, then I have to monitor. There's things I have to do that I don't want to do either. So it's also about having those conversations about, like, I don't get enjoyment out of punishing you or giving you consequences or whatever. Like that is a part of my job description. That's a responsibility of mine. But when you do things like that, it makes it uncomfortable for everybody. But I'm gonna move through the discomfort and enjoy myself and do what I have to do because I didn't do whatever this was that was wrong. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And when I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do, she also can come and have a conversation with me. If I do something to hurt her feelings, I am willing and ready to apologize. I apologize quite frequently as a parent because they need to see us take accountability, and we should take accountability for messing up or hurt or saying something rude, wrong, or disrespectful or lacking compassion or whatever that is. Like, we're not above accountability. We're not above that. We should be all about that as a parent, especially if that's what we're trying to model and teach our kids. That part I don't get. I don't get how we want our kids to have accountability and be responsible, but then we refuse to say sorry and like apologize. That is very confusing to me. And it's quite frankly rooted in ego and pride, but that's neither here nor there. So again, gentle parenting is not about being ran over. It's about taking a different approach, a kinder, thoughtful, considerate approach to parenting, being mindful and assessing who your kid is and what their needs are, what are their strengths, what are their challenges, what works for them, how do they learn best. Am I, as a parent, setting my child up to be productive? Because that is my responsibility. Am I setting them up to be successful? And if I'm not, what do I need to do different? Because there's a lot of times when we giving them permissions they haven't earned yet. Or they haven't proven that they can manage appropriately. Well, why do you keep giving them permissions? You're setting them up to fail. So some of this again is about us. A lot of it is about us as a parent and how we are setting up the structure and culture in our homes, in the relationships with our children to get what we want them to have out of it and to get what we want to have out of parenting. And again, as you guys are joining us, again, my name is Sharday. Thank you for joining. We're talking about gentle parenting adjacent. And if you have not got it already, my healthy parenting book, 18 tips to figuring this shit out. If you haven't got it already, it is in the link in my bio. It is on Amazon. Healthy parenting, 18 tips to figuring this shit out. So some of the things we're talking about today is just accountability for parenting. You being accountable as a parent in the same way you want your child to be accountable for their behavior. We have to model some of those things. It is quite frustrating when you have parents that say, oh my gosh, you know, they lie, they won't be honest, they won't take accountability, but neither do you. Where does it start? Does it start with the child or does it start with us? You have to be willing to own your things. As a parent, you have to be willing. You have to be willing. If you're not, you see what you get. There's not a lot of respect given to parents who refuse to take accountability for themselves. And you muffle your message when you say one thing and you do something else. And that's just some people in the world. Kids are not, they're very attentive. They're very attentive. They pay a lot of attention to what we do and what we say and what we model, more importantly. So be thoughtful about what you say and what you do and be accountable for when you mess up or you say something wrong or do something. Just do what you need to do. It's not gonna hurt you. If anything, it'll help you be more thoughtful and not making the same mistake over and over and over. And our kids are responsible in that way for speaking up and telling us how they feel, so we can adjust if necessary. If I've done or said something that was confusing or hurtful to you, let me know what that was and how that looked. So I can do some processing and reconciliation for myself to be a better version of the parent I need to be to you. That requires intention, that requires thought. And is it exhausting? Hell yeah. It is exhausting to be a thoughtful, intentional, responsible parent. I say this often. It is easy to be a fuck ass parent. It's so much easier to be a parent that doesn't care about things and people or whatever. You don't give a shit. Hey, son. Hi, son. Hi, Mama. Hey, baby. I love you. How was school? Okay. It was good? Okay, I'm glad. Sissy here? Okay, let me finish up here, okay? I'm coming, okay? Thank you. Okay. Hey, what? Who? Okay, I'm coming. I'm online. Just give me a second, okay? I'm coming. Sorry, y'all. My babies are home. So I'm going to wrap this up. So the takeaway today, close the door. Thank you, Pooh. The takeaway today was being gentle doesn't mean being ran over. Being gentle doesn't mean you don't have boundaries. You do have boundaries. You do need to speak with authority and straightforward. Not passive aggressive, not pussyfooting around, not beating around the bush. Your kids deserve honesty. They deserve forwardness and transparency. They deserve boundaries. They deserve consequences because you are preparing them for what the world is going to give them. And you are a gentler version of that. So help them be prepared. Help them learn how to manage. Help them be a better version. And to do that, you have to be willing to have the hard conversations. You have to be willing to do some of the things you don't like or you don't want to do. But that means having boundaries. That means giving consequences. That means giving rewards. That means being structured. That means being routine. That means being able to take accountability. That means you are the model. You are the model. And that whole phrase, do as I say, not as I do, those days are gone. They didn't work on me. So I know they don't work on them. Okay? So take care of yourself. And again, if you haven't got my book, Healthy Parenting, 18 Tips to Figuring This Shit Out, please do. And I'll be back live hopefully next week, y'all. But take care. Bye.